This is a harmony.
Hell's hot, but get cold with this winter. My earth takes a break, quake cities off the cliff, down deep sea into mountain, continental shift. The continent could drown, a rip, there's more. Think not, you don't know what I'm into, where I'm at. It's all in the mental, smack all instrumental around me. It's all about my circle squared up, for my nature, fear not. Love bravely, am I didn't make her. She made me to create the world, the home she in, shape her skin, contain a frame, no minor. She a major win, angel ain't grew up educated on the demons, veiny scaly wings, angel paper bullshit, and mother come for that. Got nothing to back, Negro black colored, on the chopping block, still on the block, chopping whatever they rap, rob, recover the chop, the world's shaking. Still my words to take it in, hear me speaking out your ear holes. How can you retain a quote? Stop, your brains bang, shot, but still you won't crow. Commander in chief, masters turn sheep at the battle. And stay chattel to eat, and wolf for my wife beats. At times a werewolf, they attack me and turn food towards the garden. Warm water make a black sea. Black coat, black blue. Black face, black ball, black food. Black pill, black street, black news. It's just such thing, black man. Black pill, black coat, black blue. Black face, black ball, black food. Black pill, black cheese, black news. But no such thing as a black man. Roses of red, green, gun, copper shot, pop, bust, and he left, didn't leave no weeds, no seeds. I'm his skull and his backbone ripped with his voice tone. I'm just saying a heartbeat, consanguinity though. Got some book bites, I'm a civil. I get you with my pen, no more dog fights and scribbles. Enforcing treaties, I'm a caustic greedy. Dressed in costumes to greet me. You think you know how this gonna end, really? Show the beginning. Apocalypse now, the dead don't know about the living. Why I can't kill them. Why I try to lift them, stand. More mass don't make you a bigger man. It's mental. Just keep going. Black hair, black clothes, black blue. Just black face, black ball, black food. Black pill, black cheese, black news. It's just such thing as a black man. Black pill, black clothes, black blue. Black face, black ball, black food. Black pill, black cheese, black news. But no such thing as a black man.
This is a harmony.
Hell's hot, but get cold with this winter. My earth takes a break, quake cities off the cliff, down deep sea into mountain, continental shift. The continent could drown, a rip, there's more. Think not, you don't know what I'm into, where I'm at. It's all in the mental, smack all instrumental around me. It's all about my circle squared up, for my nature, fear not. Love bravely, am I didn't make her. She made me to create the world, the home she in, shape her skin, contain her frame, no minor. She a major win, angel ain't grew up educated on the demons, veiny scaly wings, angel paper bullshit, and mother come for that. Got nothing to back, Negro black colored, on the chopping block, still on the block, chopping whatever they rap, rob, recover the chop, the world's shaking. Still my words to take it in, hear me speaking out your ear holes. How can you retain a quote? Stop, your brains bang, shot, but still you won't crow. Commander in chief, Masters turn sheep at the battle. And stay chattel to eat. And wool from my white beats. At times a werewolf, they attack me and turn full towards the garden. Pour water, make a black sea. Black man, black coat, black blue. Black face, black ball, black food. Black man, black trees, black shoes. It's just such thing as a black man. Black man, black coat, black blue. Black face, black ball, black food. Black face, black trees, black shoes. But no such thing as a black man. Roses of red, green, gun copper shot, pop, bust, and he left, didn't leave no weeds, no seeds. I'm his skull and his backbone ripped with his voice tone, moms are saying a heartbeat, consanguinity though. Got some more bites, I'm a civil. I get you with my pen, no more dog fights and scribbles. Enforcing treaties, I'm a caustic greedy, dressed in costumes to greet me. You think you know how this gonna end, really? Show the beginning. Apocalypse now, the dead don't know about the living. Why I can't kill them, why I try to lift them. Stand, more mass don't make you a bigger man. It's mental. Just keep going. Black man, black coat, black blue. Black face, black ball, black food. Black man, black trees, black shoes. It's just such a thing as a black man. Black man, black coat, black blue. Black face, black ball, black food. Black face, black trees, black shoes. But no such thing as a black man.
Slav Mars. Peace and love to all. When yeah, we'll just do it this way. We'll just do it this way. Just to show you how people play themselves talking crazy. Why they talk crazy with Canaanland Mars? I don't know. But everybody wants to be famous, especially right now where online is where it's at. Then online must be where it's at right now because people are talking crazy. Absolutely crazy. Now, if you don't know, More to Life Consulting is Merc L. Why they talk crazy? I don't know. But here's one for you right here, Merc L. Just send your 500. Because there's no way on Allah's earth, flat, square, circle, doesn't even matter. There's no way on Allah's earth that you can go song for song with Iron Sheik, Moorish MC. Absolutely no way. No way. So we're just going to end you right now with our first song for your little battle you want to do talking crazy. This is our first one. I don't know what you're going to play, but this is our first one. Talking crazy. Who are these guys?
Turn the face of damnation. Turn the face of damnation. I used to be into the Islam. Allah damn, I must say her name in vain. Taught to love, hate to see only my people in pain. Minds walked and brain lost and watched. Sons of God still hang on trees, but black Jesus hung on a cross. Watching them stagger with hands through the thoughtless forest. Wearing black to bury, but taught black is lawless. The only race human. We were the green and blue.
This is just our first one. Merc L for your little song battle.
Turn the face of damnation. Turn the face of damnation. I used to be into the Islam. Allah damn, I must say her name in vain. Taught to love, hate to see only my people in pain. Minds walked and brain lost and watched. Sons of God still hang on trees, but black Jesus hung on a cross. Watching them stagger with anger through the thoughtless forest. Wearing black to bury, but taught black is lawless. The only race human. We were the green and blue men with all science, ancient solutions. Uplifting, falling, calling for the end of confusion. But that nation lost the hologram, show illusion. Trigger back one flow, that's always and forever. That nation needs to learn a new measure. Aggressor or intelligent tone beats a many time cousin. They expect the nigga antics, the yelling and cussing. Driven on fast, turn heads and feds to dashboard computers. Start told them leave the muzzle on to crown prosecutors. Some listen, some turn to kill the who's not a more sharpshooter. Wards of the crown, civil it up. More two-pocket looters. Lions conquer cause their pride and courage is neuter. Turn the face of damn nigga. I used to be into the Islam. Hold on.
Crazy how the politics can't call it quits. Prepping excursions of perversion just to call they bids. Now this one for the snorting all the big base kids. They got a whole lot of wordplay to make to the city. And they propose it just to throw it in your face. Take six, it's all games cause these corporates trying to sell you kicks. No schools for the loans and bars. Tunnel vision start dust and it's a demonstration. Boy, make you the take. Feeding off the damnation just so you can hate her. She can never be the reason you betrayed her. Boy, so lies just to open up her thighs and try to break her instead of open up her eyes and try to wake her. Impossible.
Turn the face of damnation. Turn the face of damnation. I used to be into the Islam. Allah damn, I must say her name in vain. Taught to love, hate to see only my people in pain. Minds walked and brain lost and watched. Sons of God still hang on trees, but black Jesus hung on a cross. Watching them stagger with anger through the thoughtless forest. Wearing black to bury, but taught black is lawless. The only race human. We were the green and blue men with all science, ancient solutions. Uplifting, falling, calling for the end of confusion. But that nation lost the hologram, show illusion. Trigger back one flow, that's always and forever. That nation needs to learn a new measure. Aggressor or intelligent tone beats a many time cousin. They expect the nigga antics, the yelling and cussing. Driven on fast, turn heads and feds to dashboard computers. Start told them leave the muzzle on to crown prosecutors. Some listen, some turn to kill the who's not a more sharpshooter. Wards of the crown, civil it up. More two-pocket looters. Lions conquer cause their pride and courage is neuter. Turn the face of damn nigga.
I used to be into the Islam. Hold on.
Crazy how the politics can't call it quits. Prepping excursions of perversion just to call they bids. Now this one for the snorting all the big base kids. They got a whole lot of wordplay to make to the city. And they propose it just to throw it in your face. Take six, it's all games cause these corporates trying to sell you kicks. Now no schools for the loans and bars. Tunnel vision start dust and it's a demonstration. Boy, make you the take. Feeding off the damnation just so you can hate her. She can never be the reason you betrayed her. Boy, so those lies just to open up her thighs and try to break her instead of open up her eyes and try to wake her. Impossible, cause all you try to do is let this paper cater to her feelings and blind her like a slave. So you picture you a painter, all the bets are trying to wager. This be I only give you what you can and say it's one that not for living for the youth as you want the truth back to this constitutional fall.
Turn the face of damn
I used to be into the Islam. Hold on.
All aboard, all in. Hands up, all for one for all. Man up, damn nation like to make excuses like their hands cupped. Usually in the cookie jars where their hands stuck. Put the face of dead niggas.
I'm sorry. I used to be into the Islam. Hold on.
All aboard, all in. Hands up, all for one for all. Man up, damn nation like to make excuses like their hands cupped. Usually in the cookie jars where their hands stuck. Always pointing fingers on what we do. Why you mad at us? Beat them to the water, making drinks still matters. Most took the pill, wasn't ready. What you think? Back on luck, resorting to your corporate ways. Think you made an honest buck. Look at all the things you say. Lets me know your life sucks. Regret choices every day. Why bother waking up? Damn nation always says I have to empty up the cup. Higher self eventually. Fade through obscurity. Lower self raises up. Run into the church, worship him, but they're praising us. Empty out your purse, sing a hymn. In God you trust. Blood of Christ, wash away your sins. So what's the fuss when you can run to us? Why you acting sus? You were agent, I still ride the back of the bus. Blood hits the pavement, politician gets his cut. Mental enslavement, static connect, breaking up.
I used to be into the Islam. Hold on.
I was gonna do it, but I'm just playing. I was gonna slap you one more time, just because, But no, we'll let it be. We'll let it be. Right. So the energy is high today. You already know why. The cycle's over. It's the new round right now. New round right now. And everybody know it's new round right now. So house cleaning starts. So again, that was for you guys, boy. All you guys, boy. Merkel, who you already know. Go check the archives. Sons of Allah. And you'll see what's good. These people play games with you out of your birthrights that this is about some type of personality stuff. There's not no personality thing. This is about information. Information doesn't have a personality. Truth is what it is. I don't care if somebody says information. Truth and information is the same stuff. When them play their little games with you, creating jurisdictions, making up stuff. How much devils these people have that they're fighting right now that they made up? And the real devil just posing in the back with his fez on in the lodge, running the world. The real devil has a fez on, has a marked up fez, and he's in the lodge. And he's ruling the world right now. Ruling the world from the lodge seat. I don't care what you want to call the lodge, whatever you want to call it, that. On his throne, all his hoes, and he's got this patriarch's ruling. People always play their self. Always play their self. There's no room for folly right now. Absolutely no room for folly. Zero. And again, Canaanland Moors, go check the archives. See how many Moors, Negroes, blacks, conscious, whoever, buried. They don't talk about Moors anymore like they used to. They know why. They know why. Full of BS, right? And doesn't matter what anyone says. Anybody who says they're Moorish American or whatever today, 2020, 13th May, 1:30. Yeah, honors to mothers since 1:30, since 13. Honors to all the mothers. Give thanks. Nobody can say anything about the master teacher seriously. They make jokes or whatever. But on the real, nobody. Nobody. Because paid his dues. What do you mean? I don't see any membership card, his name on it to show he paid dues. You don't pay dues. What do you mean that's how he paid dues? What do you mean there's no membership card to show he's a temple member and he paid dues? The hell are you talking about? Where you been? Which rock you been living under? Everybody knows the name. Taj Tariq Bey. Everybody knows. Everybody knows. I don't care if right now he's working with FBI or whatever. I don't care. It's the master teacher. Paid dues. So don't let people fool you because of certain things you see today that you see the master teacher doing, and you never saw any stuff from, you know what I mean? Braids for class. And afro out for class. You didn't see those ones. All you see is what you're seeing today. You don't even know what's going on. You're so far gone off. You know when you make the mistake when you throw the frisbee and it doesn't come back? And then you gotta go get it. That's how far you threw your stuff. Playing games. Right? Listen carefully. And remember, this is going right back to the 500. Make sure you put the 500, the temple email, MST of A dot do4nation7@gmail.com. do4nation7@gmail.com. This is for Merc L. To make sure he sends the donation, the 500, because you have no song that you're gonna play for the song that we played, the two songs that we played to start our broadcast. You have no songs for those two songs, so just send the 500, just to remind you.
Documented. Yo, I just got a quick question right here. So let me know, because I be in Harlem all the time. I want to know, yo, why all these people who be saying your name, they be saying your name when they saying that they're not American citizens. So I just want to know.
That's what they say.
So I'm saying, so let them know right quick on the camera right now that they don't know what they talking about, that they're American citizens, because they swear to God that they not. What's your take on that right
They
now?
are. They need the Al-Moroccan.
Yo, good looking, right? They're Americans, right?
It's not the American.
I think, because I swear to God, I be walking down 125 and they'll tell you all day they're not American.
You know what? This entire conversation's off the rails right now. Now, to your point earlier, you documented.
Yo, I just got a quick question.
No. American citizen is not, I am a citizen of U.S.A. That's at the back of the nationality card that the Moors talk about, that's how they're American citizens. American citizen is not wrap ourselves in the Stars and Stripes Amity banner and pretend that's a flag. American citizen is not talking about Moorish republics and Republic of Moorish whatever and in our jurisdiction, we have to have something like the European, so that there's none of that. American citizen is you're the Aboriginal indigenous people, and you have your own government that you're a citizen of. American citizen is you're the Aboriginal indigenous people, and you have your own government. Because you have your own government, because the seal still on the back of the $1 note today still, even though Bitcoin and whatever like that, people still got $1 note with the seal on there. Why is that so important? That's still around? How much stuff been in and out, and that's still around with that seal there, the one note. Nobody ever stood up and said, hey, could we change that and just put something else on there, or could we, let's put a black guy's face on it to give them commemoration for the 400 slavery? Nothing. Nobody's messing around with the one note. The one note. One note's nothing. It's a one note. Crumple that up and all that stuff. But why does it have that seal on there? Because remember, they parade around with the eagle every day, all day, which is on the seal, which is on the note. The note has the eagle that right now, we're in Corona or whatever, Trump's going to be there with that. Where the hell is the pyramid part? Where is it? Where is it somewhere? If the eagle's a government, well, how come the pyramid's not a government? And if the pyramid is a government, how come people are telling me about, well, if I'm a Mar, I got to come join their government and all this stuff? What are you talking about? There's a government right there on the back of that one note that I don't see nobody talking in front of that seal or behind that seal or have that seal on their paperwork. Only people I see do that is Moors. So American citizen is you're the government. How are they the government? They can't be your government. You can't be their citizen. You're Aboriginal Indigenous. You've been here before anybody else was here. We didn't land on Plymouth Rock. Plymouth Rock landed on us. Why? Because we're Aboriginal Indigenous. That's why. Think he didn't know? Which is why he left the BS. Left the BS. Said, forget this BS, I'm out. Then we're just going to remind you again. Remind you one more time. Don't play around. It's a new cycle. Stop the BS. We have a track record. We have a track record.
Turn the face of damnation. Turn the face of damnation.
I used to be into the Islam.
I locked down. I must say her name in vain. Taught to love, hate to see only my people in pain. Minds walked and brain lost and watched. Sons of God still hang on trees. My black Jesus hung on a cross. Watching them stagger with anger through the thoughtless forest. Wearing black and buried, but taught black is lawless. The only race human. We were the green and blue men. With all the science, ancient solutions. Uplifting, falling, calling for the end of confusion. But damnation lost the hologram, show illusion. Trigger forever. That's always and forever. Damnation needs to learn a new measure. Aggressor or intelligent tone beats so many time cousins. They expect the nigga antics, the yelling and cussing. Driven offense turns heads offense to dashboard computers. So I told them leave the muzzle on the crowd prosecutors. Some listen, some turn to kill the who is not a more sharpshooter. Hordes of the crowd silver lit up. More two-pocket looters. Lions conquer cause their pride and courage is neutered. In the face of dead niggas.
I used to be into the Islam. Hold on.
Crazy how the politics can't call it quits. Scratching excursions of perversion just to call they bids. Now this one for the snorting all the big bass kids. They got a whole lot of wordplay to make you see. They propose it just to throw it in your face. Take six, it's all games cause these corporates trying to sell you kicks. And no schools for the losing boys. Tunnel vision, stardust, and it's a commutation. Boy, it makes you take feeding off the damnation just so you can hate her. She can never be the reason you betrayed her. Boy, tell her all the lies just to open up her thighs and try to break her instead of open up her eyes and try to wake her. Impossible, cause all you try to do is let this paper cater to her feelings and mind her like a slave. So you picture you a painter, but all the bets are trying to wager. This be I only give you what you can have later.
One that not for living for the you as you want the truth back to this constitutional fall.
In the face of dead niggas.
I used to be into the Islam. Hold on.
All aboard, all in. Hands up, all for one for all. Man up, damnation like to make excuses like their hands cuffed. Usually in the cookie jars, right hands stuck. Always pointing fingers on what we do. Why you mad at us? Beat them to the water, make them drink. Still matters. House took the bill, wasn't ready. What you think? Back on luck, resorting to your corporate ways. Think you made an honest buck. Look at all the things you say. Lets me know your life sucks. Regret choices every day. Why bother waking up? Damnation always says the half empty of the cup. High yourself eventually. Faith to obscurity, lower self raises up. Run into the church, worship him, but they praising us. Empty out your purse, sing a hymn. In God you trust. Blood of Christ wash away your sins. So what's the fuss when you could run to us? Why you acting sus? You were agent, I still ride the back of the bus. Blood hits the pavement, politician gets his cut. Mental enslavement, static connect, breaking up. In the face of
I used to be into the Islam. Hold on.
Mm. 1206 studio. Mars. What the Mars got? What the Mars doing? The Mars aren't doing anything. The Mars just get arrested. The hell out of here. I want to say honors to the mothers for last night. Last night was 40. For somebody who has not really taken the Moorish paradigm as the next best thing, last night was a classic MHHS broadcast. Taking something that's out there, just taking something that's out there and putting Moorish minds on it for it to be dissected. And it was a good, it wasn't really a, yeah, you could have probably got some notes, but it was more, you know, for you to do your own due diligence. Get you to a place where you could look at something and automatically see what it is that is causing our people to be plagued by this cancer that we can't get out of, whatever. Can't get out of. Now we want to, again, give honors to the mothers, because the mothers are always innovative in this whole analytical approach that Moors have with things in society, because we know that it's not really anything for us to be part of or involved in, but you know, it's there. So we're gonna do with it what we know best. You know, sharpen our sword. See how on point we are with, you know, where we say we are as forward-thinking, conscious Moors. You know what I mean? Islam to all the callers, you know, because it was just to sit back and be able to see, hear, experience how far Moors have come in their mindsets and how they look at things. You know, there's been an acceleration. That's why we always give honors to the Prophet for putting certain things out there early. So there's no debate. There's no debate. It is of the utmost importance that Noble Drew Ali gets his honors for what it is that he did in the 1920s that people are still trying to duplicate today. That it's going to look all fancy and they got the funds to do but if you're not talking nationality, it's just a social club. If you're not talking nationality, it doesn't matter how many people they call. Once nationality is off the table for whatever else, void your position. Economically, socially, agriculturally, you name it. Just because nationality was left off the table. Now we always have to keep presenting this so that you can see where we were supposed to be as a nation today if we stuck to the program of what Noble Drew Ali brought and didn't play this game of personage. Because you might end up chasing after a false prophet. That years go by. Half a century, and you didn't know? You thought what you had was where it was at? Nur Majid, we are all Moors. On the eve of Noble Drew Ali's death, in 1929, W.D. Fard Muhammad, probably born to a man of East India that will later become Pakistan, which is Moorish, and a white English woman on February 25th, 1891 in New Zealand, appeared in Chicago after having entered the United States illegally in 1913. And having joined the Theosophical Society, Garvey, UNIA, and Morris Science Temple, while being part of Ahmadiyya. Which all these things going on at the same time. 1913 to 1929. 1913 to 1929. Anybody who was of any type of sound mind, that wasn't some nigger on the plantation, was in these realms. Remember, no NOI yet. Ahmadiyya, Islamic. Morris Science Temple, Islamic. Theosophical Society, Ancient Wisdom. Garvey, Islamic. And all of them are over here. They're not from over there saying that they're Islamic. They're over here. Why are they over here? Why is over here a hot spot? Because this time was the resurgence, the Renaissance that happened in ancient times of a downtrodden people, and then them being blessed with knowledge and working for the nation, working to uplift the downtrodden people, whether they were called Ahmadiyya Movement, Morris Science Temple, UNIA, Theosophical Society. They weren't about selling out people. They were about liberating the minds of people. Now, again, the key to all of this is when you talk about Theosophical Society, you go check their background. They're founded by people who know about nationality. You talk to Ahmadiyya Movement, they're founding people who know about nationality. You check Garvey's background. There's not no secret that he knew about nationality. He was a Maroon. Why wouldn't he know about being your own nation if you're a Maroon? Noble Drew Ali was presenting the nationality as something that we can actually put in the international arena as our identity, so that the other nations could assist in our plight. Because from his travels, he realized everybody out there has a nationality. It's the only thing we don't have here. We got all the land that we want. This is the vast estate of the Moroccan Empire. So land is not an issue in the Americas. Sun all the time is not an issue in the Americas. There's sun all the time here. Just like over there. You see? Cosmic mirror. All these were for the uplifting of people. Drew Ali brought the nationality in on an actual concrete way of expressing it. That you're not going to be able to doubt what it is or question or, well, I don't know if his IDs, whatever like that and all that. There'll be no question of anything because everything would have been a standard from then to now. Now imagine your nationality card looked just like what the Prophet had. And it's actually, you know what I mean, on the level of there's a building where you go to get that. All the buildings you see they got, just take the name off and then put our name on it. And the chief of whatever that is Fez on. And all the people who work in there, Fez is up. Because we were there. Carlos Cooks, who's Garveyite, he had them in Fezes in the African Legion. Why would he be doing that if nationality wasn't the order of the day? Nationality has to be the order of the day. Because when we check, everybody out there's got one. So why are certain people who we know came from Morris Science Temple, came from what Noble Drew Ali brought, and nationality being the order of the day, playing games with you? And then you're going with it, and then you're mad while you're facing conditions of you can't even go jogging without people blasting you in the face. And then just get some charges. But then you're getting dragged behind a truck and all that stuff by your neck on a rope, and somebody says, you know what I mean, anti-Semite or something, and everything's cool. It's not about go do something back. No, it's about correct your status. So you're gonna go do something back, and then when they retaliate with 50 times what you went back to them with, then you're gonna be complaining racism again. And like the Moors were talking about last night, when you look at it, at where our people are at, it's a sickness. Even the people who said that, yeah, we're part of Moorish whatever, and now we're not part of that anymore because that's not really a nation, and we're over here and we're doing this over here now. That's a sickness. That's a disease. You worry about some corona? You better worry about turning to some of these unconscious zombies out here that are claiming they're about some liberation of some people. They're about the liberation of their people. They're about, oh my gosh, I can't do any shows right now. How can I make some finance so that we can keep doing some stuff? They're wake the hell up. Again, it's the same thing, like they were murdering it last night. Our people's mindset. Like, praise Allah that we're Moors. There's a crazy thing when you actually think about that. Damn, yeah, it's actually, why would you want those? Why would you want people with that mindset around? Why do you want them around? Because if somebody's gonna have a video of a guy getting shot because he was jogging, they thought he did something. Now, I'm from generation. If you don't do nothing, like what are you running? I didn't do nothing. What's the issue? Oh, you thought whatever? Well, call those highwaymen right now or whatever. I'm not running. They got guns and I'm running. And then nobody's talking about somebody's house camera that they have videotape of this man at the other house going in garages. Now, you have right to bear arms and somebody's going in garages and stuff like that, running down the street, and you're saying, hey, and they're not stopping. I don't know. You know, it's especially if there's video of somebody going in garages wearing the same stuff that this man's wearing. And all again because of our people's mindset. Everything is shock test on the Negro. Everything you see, anything happen, I don't care what it is, Negro shock test. Let's see how much voltage they can take now. Just keep turning it up. Just keep turning it up on them. Man jogging. You think what these people brought, More Science Temple, Theosophical Society, Ahmadiyya, you think that's what they did all their stuff for? People get shot in the street. That's what they did that for. Garvey working all these connections across the Atlantic. And that's because they wanted us to be getting shot up in the street. That's all their stuff equals what we're dealing with right now? No, hell no. Something happened. Something happened. Because if I was them, I'll be turning in my grave seeing this madness going on after the stuff that we had. When More Science Temple was around, and then they had Noble Drew Ali and Elijah Muhammad and Garvey and Mufti Sadiq and all these people on the stage at one time and all that, you think they're dead now, assassinated, died of stress or whatever, to be seeing us doing what we're doing right now as some progress from where they were? They're tripping. Something happened. Oh yeah, and if anybody wants to get in, we got the invite. Just put the invite in the chat if you got something to say. Just remember, we got there's a link if you want to say something. But something had to happen, because there's nowhere all these entities are existing and things are looking good for our people. 1920s going into 1930s, right? When we bring in Noble Drew Ali and we bring in Pan-American conferences and we bring in things relative to a transition being made because of Great Depression, and, you know, Noble Drew Ali talking about wheels of industry stopping and going back into Asiatic hands. That was 1930s. This is a repetitive thing that we're never there to be the ones that the stuff is falling into the hands of. It's always been somebody else. Why? Because they have a nationality and we don't. So they're gonna fake it until they make it, till we get our stuff straight. But we shouldn't have to get our stuff straight. It's like one of the Moors, his empress keeps talking about, why do you keep going to classes? Why do you have to do that? You shouldn't have to do that. If you're a nation, why are you doing that? Doesn't even register in her mind, because she's born national. She wasn't something else and then became a national when she was 40. She was born a national. She was born of a nation. So certain things have been instilled in her. Certain things have been instilled in her. That nothing is going to be, it's not a question of should something. No, nationhood, that's what it's about. Nothing else. Everything you do is supposed to be for your nation. And if everything that you're doing has nothing to do with your nation, then you're obviously not competent. And this is what they did. They took something that was competent. They took something that was set up and ready to go. Right? They took something and then perverted it with some mess. Like we said, had the Moor Science Temple sign there, took the sign down and put up their own sign and started talking their own madness, which was putting our people right into the grave where Noble Drew Ali said that these people are going to put you. And we told them a couple weeks ago, just put Moorish on it. Why don't you just put Moorish on it? Why are you still playing around like we're not Moors? Why is it a fight? As we know, it's about analyzing certain things. Now they very easily, they could have just kept saying that they're a nation by putting Noble Drew Ali up front. Stop playing around. Why would you put somebody else up front? Why isn't it what the Moors want? What the Muslims want? At least go Muslim. No. What's wrong with being a nation of Islam? But if you got the red flag and you have the 5-point star on there, like what's really going on here? Obviously, this is not about nation. Obviously, this is not about nation. This is a org. That's why they got .org. There's the org. It's not a nation. But their program is very familiar. Their program is extremely familiar to what it is that was being done pre-them. When Anur Majid said Fard moved to Detroit in 1930 with 120,000 black people that were part of Noble Drew Ali's movement. They already denationalized them. Because they weren't saying they weren't a nation at that point. And after 30, right? So they start. Now, how is this? They start but at the same time, because of, right, in this book right here, the African American religions, the agent had already questioned Bay's landlord, a woman who rented to African American boarders. Bay, innocently enough, informed the undercover agent of the movement's proper name. The FBI had referred to them as the Moorish Shrine Temple. This is 1931. In 31, they don't know who they're investigating. How don't they know? Because that's when it started with the Moorish Science Temple. It wasn't open book when they infiltrated with Noble Drew Ali around. Remember, there's documentation of Noble Drew Ali that they were dirty Moors. All of these ingredients in this melting pot of our consciousness and liberation and all that, all have their foundation in the Moorish movement. In some way, shape, or form, they were connected to Islam. In some way, shape, or form, by some individual who was either a songwriter for them, hymn writer for them, whatever. There was definitely an Islamic connection. And in 31, FBI thought Moorish Science Temple was Moorish Shrine Temple. And this is a whole chapter on repression of African American Muslims. And it's propaganda with regard to Moors being in it, because Moors aren't Muslims. So what are they really talking about? They're talking about their agents, their ones who were sent to put the frequency out on our people that we're everything except a nation. And we're definitely not going to say that we're Moors like that. Any one of these organizations out here, that should be their calling. They call themselves whatever they want, put Moorish on it. So we can solve the problem. Because the Negro problem is not going to be solved unless you go the way of the Moors. that was laid down by the prophet. Again, we're just looking at this from the perspective that we're Moors. So when what the Muslims want, top thing on the thing is that you want freedom and full and complete freedom, that should not be limited to the org. When Noble Ali was around, freedom was for everybody. And not only was it for everybody, it wasn't just for people who belonged to the club, it was for everybody. And not was it only for everybody, it was made one of the 5 principles. And one of the 5 principles represents a point on that 5-point star that's on the flag that's red. And certain people have their star white and they play games. And see how they're directing the energy of nationhood to their org. When that's supposed to be for the nation. That's not for that function. That's criminal to use it for that function. Because it's about liberating the minds of the people, not taking them from slavery and putting them in slavery again with now your slave master looking like you. Whether it's this one, whether it's the Moor Science Temple one, whether it's the Ahmadiyya movement one, whether it's whatever one they want to call it. Guy on the top, and then on top of that, they're talking about matriarch and all that stuff, and it's a guy on the top. Something's wrong. There's a discrepancy. So when we say we want freedom, Moors, our mindset is that, okay, if we want freedom, that's one of our principles. So if that's the top thing on the list, if the top thing on the list is one of the Moors' principles, then what? If the first thing on the list is one of the principles, not just some word you've thrown around. Freedom is one of the principles of the Moorish Americans. Why don't they just tell you your nationality is Moorish American then? They got the red flag. They got the 5-point star. Why don't you just go all the way? Why hold them back? First thing on the list is one of the Prophet's principles. I'm telling you why certain people left. Because they realized that they were playing around with people. We're saying get right. You already know. It's to the point now where there's fezzes on the stage now when you got some big message to the people. They went from being in the crowd, now they're on stage now. Then you have to be able to come out and say that you're a Moorish American or a Moor or something. Because this is from your head guy's book. Like the message to the black man is that they should want freedom, full and complete freedom. And then that's one of the Moors' principles. And black man didn't get the message yet. He's still playing games. Him saying that we want freedom, that's directly telling you go study Noble Drew Ali, because he's the only one who told us about 5 principles and freedom being one of them. But our niggas don't read. So they miss the message to the black man. You thought they got the message. You didn't get the message. They're still playing games. You're not having a status. Man has his fez on. You playing games? That's not fez, it's a short one. All right. All right. We want justice. And justice, one of the principles of the Moors. Justice is one of our principles. Now, this is the second thing on the list. The second thing on the list is Noble Drew Ali's principle. Again, another one. So the first two things on their list is our principles. Not our first two, but two of our principles. Two of our principles are theirs. Nationality is the order of the day. Like, all this stuff doesn't go online that Moors are doing. And there's always damage control. Because everybody's bringing some stuff that they heard. They heard something. They heard something. Right? All because you want to stray away from the program. The stuff that's been laid down. Stuff that's been laid down. I don't know where the sellout happened, but we know it happened. Right? Now you have Moors here now. Moors saying that they're American Indian. Moors. These are Moors now. They got tribal government, they're American Indian. This is the madness. That it's Moors saying this. All because these people just didn't keep the sign up in 1930. They're the most prominent right now, well known. Why? Because they took the sign down. They weren't talking nationality. But they're going to use Moors principles though. And give some fake honors to the prophet on some screen and think that he did something. Everything that they're claiming that they got for their little club, everything that they're claiming that they got for the club Every single thing is supposed to be for the nation. It's not for the club like that. It's supposed to be directly for the nation. Again, Noble Drew Ali presented all these things. Noble Drew Ali brought all these things to the forefront for us, in order for us to get that thing that it is that we're destined to have, that we know that we're supposed to have it. It's not even like, why is it that we don't have? Because we are claiming all these different nations, but we're one people with one enemy. One people, one enemy, but we're all these different things. But we have one enemy though. There's going to be a time when there's going to be no this. You're not going to get information. You're whatever you have is what is the information that you're going to be getting. You're going to be paired with what you got. Shift been happened. And as you check the terrain, it's only the nations. It's only tying yourself to a nation right now that's gonna get you by. Having some nation-minded people around you. Because everybody else is fending for their nation. And all people had to do was stick to the program. Refuse to stick to the program. I'm telling you, their first two things that they want from the colonists, who's been abusing them for all these years or whatever, is freedom and justice. Freedom and justice. And you don't want it. You're lost thinking that what they're talking about is for some nation. That's not a nation, that's for the club. If you're for the nation, you'll take those two principles, put them on that white star, and fill in the other three. Make that star green and take that moon off and stop playing. But that won't happen. So we're telling Moors, don't worry about trying to with them. They've already took the bait. They already took the bait. Stay squared up and know the truth about your nationality and birthrights, because that's all you have with the way these people are playing colonial games. The stuff that they're doing, you better know some Moors. Right? Good thing Good thing you know some. Because you want to, again, give honors to the mothers for been putting the word out and letting it be known. Just before we close out, Harvey Bay Publications, ID 77. Aboriginally healthy. Forced poisoning. Be very mindful right now, these times, that knowledge of your Aboriginal and Indigenous culture is absolutely extremely important. And we wanted to put a reference point out there with regard to the immunization. The American Declaration of the Rights of Indigenous People. This is for anybody who has mindset that you're Aboriginal and Indigenous to this land. States shall take measures to prevent and prohibit Indigenous people and individuals from being subjects of research programs, biological or medical experimentation, or sterilization without their free, prior, and informed consent. Likewise, Indigenous peoples and Indigenous individuals have the right, as appropriate, to access their data, medical records, and documentation of research conducted by individuals and institutions, whether public or private. So also go through the American Declarations of Rights of Indigenous People, just like you did with the UN Declaration of Rights of Indigenous People. And get yourself, you only use a page, doesn't have to be, you know what I mean, 800-page writ or whatever. Right? And get those in your mind that you can go to different ones as a reference point as far as the American Declarations articles. And when you go on the site, the immunization writ is there. You just hit the writ, download it, open it up, and protect yourself and protect your family. As well as that, you have concepts of health to also keep yourself fit enough that you don't catch anything that's out there. Whether they force sterilize or whatever, that you would most definitely be putting yourself in a position to have a healthier body and eating healthier things to combat what's going on out there. Peace and love to all the Moors. This was just a pop-up. Last night's presentation was right and exact, proper. And that made me think about certain people and their symbology and what they present as just being part of the game when they should know better. They should definitely know better and shouldn't be playing any games with our people. We already know how they do. Islam to all the Moors, honors to all the mothers worldwide. Worldwide. Honors to all. And of course, once again, Islam Moors.
Turn the face of damnation. Turn the face of damnation.
I used to be into the Islam.
Allah damn, I must say her name in vain. Taught to love, hate to see only my people in pain. Minds walked and brain lost and watched. Sons of God still hang on trees, but black Jesus hung on a cross. Watching them stagger with anger through the thoughtless forest. Wearing black and berry, but called black is lawless. The only race human. We were the green and blue men with modern science, ancient solutions. Uplifting, falling, calling for the end of confusion. But damnation lost the hologram, no illusion. Trigger that one so that always and forever. Damnation needs to learn a new measure. Aggressor or intelligent tone beats a many time cousin. They expect the nigga antics, the yelling and cussing. Turning offense, turn tanks offense to dashboard computers. Start calling me the ones alone to crown prosecutors. Some listen, some turn to kill the who's not a more sharpshooter. Hordes of the crown, civil litter, more two-pocket looters. Lions conquer cause their pride and courage is neuter.
I used to be into the Islam. Hold on.
Crazy how the politics can't call it quits. Prepping excursions of conversion just to call they bids. Now this one for the snorting all the big-based kids. They got a whole lot of wordplay to make you see. Make you post it just to throw it in your face. Take six, it's all games cause these corporates trying to sell you tricks. No excuses for the losing part. Tunnel vision, stardust, and it's a commentration. Boy, you make you take. You're feeding off the damnation just so you can hate her. She can never be the reason you a traitor. Boy, tell her both lies just to open up her thighs and try to break her instead of open up her eyes and try to wake her. Impossible, cause all you try to do is let this paper cater to her feelings and blind her like a savior. You picture you were painted, but all the bets you're trying to wager is be I only give you what you can have.
Wanting that not for, living for the youth, as you brought the truth back to this constitutional fall.
Turn the face of damnation.
I used to be into the Islam. Hold on.
All aboard, all in. Hands up, all for one for all. Man up, damnation like to make excuses like their hands cupped. Usually in the cookie jars, where their hands stuck. Always pointing fingers on what we do. Why you mad at us? Beat them to the water, make them drink. Still matters. House took the pill, wasn't ready. What you think? Back on luck, resorting to your corporate ways. Think you made an honest fuck. Look at all the things you say. Lets me know your life sucks. Regret choices every day. Why bother waking up? Damnation always says I have to empty up the cup. High yourself eventually. Face to obscurity. Lower self raises up. Run into the church, worship him, but they praising us. Empty out your purse, sing him, and God you trust. Blood of Christ wash away your sins. So what's the fuss when you can run to us? Why you acting sus? You were agent, I still ride the back of the bus. Blood hits the pavement, politician gets his cut. Mental enslavement, static connect, breaking up. Turn the face of
I used to be into the Islam. Hold on.